What's the last few weeks been like for you in your new role?
So it's been hectic, but it's been a great learning curve.
John, 3 points earns his promotion.
To the Welsh Government's decision to deny Llandudno Football Club grant application for a new 3G pitch. And this decision has been a bitter blow for Llandudno Football Club. The club has played most of their home games in Bangor last season, and we're looking forward to a proper return to Llandudno. And Welsh Government's decision has led to the manager leaving the club, and many fear the future of the club, despite the many hundreds of people it serves in the town and surrounding communities.
Dave Ginn had pulled us in as chairman, saying that we hadn't got the government grant.
A director came in and he went, "It's not happening," and it was like,
And off the back of that, Sean, Mike decided to leave along with a lot of the first team players.
it obviously went down not very well. I think more disappointment, and I was disappointed as well. You know, everyone was disappointed. It took a while to sink in that the players had left.
Which was understandable with the reasons that they had. And Dave and Doz at the time asked me would I take the first team job on.
I remember it now. Just calmly walked over as he does, hands in pockets. We walked a little bit around the pitch and he just said, I'm on board if you want me. And I think within about 3 minutes he was first team manager, not stepping in as caretaker manager or anything like that. I just thought to myself, this lad's got an aroma about him, he's got an aura, and everything just felt right.
That conversation was a difficult one because I don't know whether at the time they believed what I said in terms of trying to keep them in the league.
I didn't know how we were going to get on, I didn't know how we were going to do, and I'll be brutally honest, I didn't know that much about Jordan.
And it was a whirlwind few weeks because on the Friday I'd been asked to do it, I spoke to Words and told him I was going to do it, and then obviously took the job and my phone was manic.
When he made that call, it was shock initially, but straight away it was like, right, what we got to do? Let's make a plan.
Welcome to Llandudno, Ross. What's been your first impressions?
Been good. Good people there, obviously.
I found your first interview the other day.
They were up there? Up there, yeah.
One of the first phone calls I made was Ross Weaver. I've known Ross for a long time. He was at Kevin Druids with us, great professional, drive standards, and I thought if we were to get out of the situation that we were in, we needed to have someone that would drive standards on the pitch.
That first season, I probably brought the average age of the team up quite considerably.
Ross has been immense. I mean, straight away he brought this bond together with the players.
Kind of first time in my career I've been in that position where I was the oldest player in the team, a lot of responsibility and a lot of people looking up to me in the changing room. It was a real challenge for myself.
In and around the dressing room he was brilliant in terms of dictating and driving standards. Harvey Bennett as well, a key signing. I think he was my second signing at the club. We wanted to try and get a forward in, and Harvey led the line really well that season with a lot of pressure on.
I came in, obviously we had nothing, we had no one, and all I wanted to do in aim in the game was just to play every week. I really enjoyed it, there was no pressure. I was a 17-year-old lad and I was scoring goals and I was enjoying my football and I was learning off all these important players and important staff.
The Kai Jesus game was our first league game, and I believed in every player that we brought in. I think a lot of people, including people on my staff, thought we were going to really struggle, but I believed that I signed people that would be competitive, and I think the first 10 games we lost by 1 goal or by maximum 2 goals.
Like I've mentioned, the age and the experience of that squad, a lot of the players were still learning their trade. So
Kai Jesus, we should have won the game. We missed 2 or 3 one-on-ones. It was all new, but I knew we could compete from that minute on. I knew we would be okay.
I think you scored in the first win, didn't you?
Yeah.
Porthmadog?
Yeah, Porthmadog,
What was
yeah.
that feeling like getting those 3 points?
Unbelievable. I think I've watched it back a few times now, because I think it was on Scorio that game. Put through from Ethan, I think, made him running behind. And then, yeah, it was a good moment for me.
Because it's like getting the monkey off your back, you know. It was not the best pitch in the world, Conway, but we tried to work a way of how we can sort of grind out results.
That gave them a lot of confidence to show and make them believe that they were good enough to play at the level that we were competing at. Even though I had no doubts that they were, you know, they needed to believe that themselves.
Was it like going back to play here against Wigan?
It was a long time in the making, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one of the best nights I've ever had in my life, never mind just in football. I knew how much hard work had gone on behind the scenes by people that are currently still with the club, but also people that have left the club since.
You could feel a lot of pressure on the team. Obviously, everything that happened.
The amount of money and effort and dedication that went into that moment happening.
I think without the volunteers and the directors and the people that actually loved and cared the club, that pitch would never have been laid. So I remember saying to the lads, look, I don't need to say anything more on this game. This game is all for the people that have got us and made us come back here. And I think it was important that when we won that game, we remembered that. And it was an unbelievable feeling. And again, on the night, we deserved to win the game. And it was a great cross by Frankie Montgomery down the right-hand side to put it in the box for Liam Ellis to finish to make it 2-1.
Have a favourite moment from that season?
One that sticks out in my mind is Porthmadog away from home.
Porthmadog away.
Porthmadog away.
Yeah, it was just amazing. Some of the comebacks were fairy tale.
I think a lot of people will say that's the best moment of the season. We were fighting against Porthmadog to stay in the league and we were 2-0 down till the 83rd minute.
There was a lot of 3-2s in that first season, so there was actually 10, which is quite remarkable when you think about it.
And we won 3-2, and I think, you know, I mentioned about players coming in and making a difference. Carl Clare definitely made a difference that season. He was unbelievable.
Carl Clare, obviously smashed on him from what, 18 yards, crossbar on him.
Carl Clare with like a half volley in the last minute, and it was a pylon, and that was a fantastic moment.
Feeling and the pictures of that day, when you look back on it, was a moment that you would never be able to get back. I think we had Albert running into the dugout, we had Ian Dyer running down the line when all the players had run the other way. We had, you know, fans hugging each other. It was a brilliant moment, and I think that was the day where people genuinely believed that and actually stood up and took count of us.
And we did that numerous times. You know, Prestatyn, I think we were 2-0 down, we came back and won 3-2. So despite the age of the group, you know, there were signs even in that first year of the togetherness and what Jordan was building.
What they did was absolutely unbelievable. Everybody written us off. I'd just like to thank my management team for that season. So obviously it was myself, Andy, Grant, Ian Dyer, Rebecca.
When times are tough and you need to lean on people, I'd like to mention Ian Dyer, but he's been nothing but superb. All the times when things were going tough and going wrong and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, we're never going to get out of this, I had him in my ear saying, we'll be fine. Honestly now, we're going to get through this, we're going to stick together and we'll be fine.
Without them, in the times where it was tough, it was my first season managing at this level, I would never have achieved what we did. And I think it's important to take stock of that, because my name's on the paper as the manager, but they were just as important as me in terms of what we achieved.
Yeah, when I look back at it, it was probably what I love about football.
And yeah, I loved every minute of managing that season. It was a roller coaster, but I believe that it was the most enjoyable season that I've had to date.
Fucking dogs chewed me short, so I have to hide.
I had to replace Andy Nelson, stepping away from the management team, and Mossy was the only person that I ever wanted to bring in.
I don't think he's told anyone this, but he's played at Wembley twice.
Watch this for Techers. How about that then?
What can I say? He's played at Wembley twice, you know.
So he's been around it, he's done it all, played at Wembley twice.
He brings to the change room, to the club and to the management team is something that, you know, not a lot of people can bring.
I spoke to him as, you know, it was a no-brainer for me to come in and try and help the football club.
He's been brilliant. I can't speak highly enough of him.
So obviously there's quite a difference in the two squads, the one that ended year 1 to year 2. Talk to me about those signings.
Yeah, obviously I knew that I had to make a difference to the team. I had to change it. That team that we had the previous season wouldn't keep us up again, so I had to bring in experience, and the club backed me with that.
I met him, I realised quite quickly that he's not your average 22-year-old at the time. He's the oldest 24-year-old I've ever met in my life. I really wanted to be involved with a football club that had clear ambition of getting into the Welsh Prem. I could see with my own eyes the potential of the football club and see the belief that Jordan had and what was, what the potential was.
When I became a sort of free agent off the back of Flint, Jordan gave us a call and sort of sold what he was trying to do at the club, and it sounded like something I'd be really interested in. At the time there was a lot of young lads in there that were full of energy. Don't get me wrong, I had to come in with a bit more of an experience there, which was natural to me.
I'll never underestimate that summer. I think it was a big summer for the club in terms of bringing players in, and I felt like we brought the right people and the right players in.
Wasn't the start you wanted with 1 win out of 10? How tough was that on you?
At the start of that season, I was kind of anticipating us to do a lot better than we did.
Losing nearly all of the first 10 games, only winning 1 of them, it was always going to be difficult to turn it round. I don't think the fixture list was kind to us.
8 of them fixtures out of the first 10 were the toughest fixtures that you could have.
We had difficult games, Guilsfield, Buckley away, Airbus twice in the first 10 games.
Did you have any doubts at all during that period at the start of the season, when times were tough?
I think you'll always have doubts.
I think the game was Penryn Cork away, and I think we got beat 5-0.
The only time I thought that maybe it's time for someone else to take the job on was when we lost 5-0 away at Penryn Cork. I felt really downtrodden on that day.
That was probably, a tricky patch for us as staff.
It proved to be very, very tough.
You were managing a lot of injuries in that season. How was that for you?
Tough.
I remember many games looking to my right of the dugout, and behind the barrier there would be 7 first team players.
Quite quickly we were really short on numbers at the start of the season.
One that I remember quite clearly is 6-2 loss away at Denby, and I remember looking to the sideline and there was a starting 11.
We seem to have a lot of injuries to key players. I think everything come at once.
I'll have a few weeks where I'll be really quiet, and then all of a sudden everyone's got little niggles and knocks, and they all kind of come at once. I think it's hard to see anyone out, especially there was quite a few recurring injuries as well, I think, that season.
Did you feel any sort of pressure?
Yeah, especially when they happen again, you think, oh, like, what have I done wrong? Have I not done something right?
Without Rebecca, I do push her at times, but without her getting the lads back and getting them back to stay within the team fit, we would have really struggled. Full credit to her, because I can only do what I can in terms of managing the team, but she's got to get the players fit.
Having a bit of bad luck or regards players' availability and injuries and things like that, and I knew it'd come good.
January was pivotal for us, and bringing in Tom and Cal and Ben Mara within that window, it was so important.
We made some more good signings then in January, and then obviously we grew from strength to strength.
November in that season till the end of the season, we only lost 3 games. We had momentum on our side, and like I said, we knew that we were going to finish 4th.
Once you get on that run as well, we finished really strongly, and we got that 4th position.
We were relentless in that period.
To achieve that and finish 4th last year was probably up there with some of my best achievements, to be honest.
The group of people in that change room is why we had the turnaround that we did. It kind of gave people belief around the club that maybe the following season, which is the season we're in now, we could actually go and do something. So in the March of the 2nd season, I'd met with the board, and they'd set me a target of trying to better the points tally that we had and try and finish within that top 3 for promotion places. I wanted to hit it head on, and that's exactly what we did, rolling straight into going away to Bangor in Northern Ireland in pre-season.
Hold on for a minute. Okay, mate. You can feel it in the streets on a day like this. The heat, it feels like summer.
You're asking for you on that. I can't help being a superstar.
I feel like summer. You can feel it in the streets on a day like this. The heat, I feel like summer.
It wasn't me that come up with that idea, and it wasn't me that thought that it would make such a difference. It was Grant.
See, I was born in Belfast, Northern Ireland, so I've got some connections there. I just thought it was a great idea to sort of play at a decent level, see what it's like to sort of knock on the door against the big boys, but also to have a couple of days away with all the new players to try and create a bond and make sure that, you know, we were going to hit the ground running.
Men who made machines that
You know, when you're away with lads and you're around each other 24/7, you get to know people a lot better, and it was a great way to bond with them all.
I think that was the benchmark for us, set us off. You know, and we won the game as well out there, which was great.
He was so right with that trip. It set us off on the right tone. It got fans, volunteers, staff, players, reserve staff, all on the same page. Having over 80 people go over to Northern Ireland and experience a weekend together, it was so important, and I think that set us up for the season.
I'd been having a couple of conversations with a couple of different clubs when I left Key.
I've known Gomez for years. When I was about 6, he used to come to mum and dad's pub as a local and thrash balls at me while I was standing in goal.
Obviously known him since he was like knee high to a grasshopper.
The lads will take the out of him saying you can shove your stats up your ass, but Gomez is so important, and everyone raves about the players that we've signed over the years since I've been here, but he's been such a big addition.
We had a good conversation and he was like, right, you know, this is what my aspirations are, this is what I want to go and do. And it was something that sort of, I thought, he's really going to have a go at this year, like he really fancies it.
He offers something that I can't do. He offers something that not many people can do. The way, you know, the amount of detail that he goes into for the prep before a game to help and support the players in any way possible is something that we're very lucky to have at the club.
Year 3 summer was a big one for transfers. Kizza being the most notable one. Talk to me about how crucial he's been.
See, Kizza was, you know, retired. He'd retired from a long time at Bala.
I had a year out, just concentrating on my running a little bit, and Caddy was obviously trying to get me back in and said good, you know, great things about the club.
I've known Kizza a long time. He's a very good footballer.
Yeah, Caddy's his sidekick, so it's like Bill and Ben. Without Caddy, Kizza probably wouldn't have even contemplated coming here. So
I've been unfortunate enough to have to play against him many times. You know, until I've actually played with him now, I didn't probably quite appreciate or realise how good of a player he was.
Probably one of the best players that I've ever worked with. He's been integral to what we've done. See, I had Jordan Pownell, that was someone that I tried to sign for many years.
Yeah, it's amazing, you know, it's always good to have that local connection, and, you know, I remember Jordan here when, you know, he could just about tie his own shoelace.
He's a local lad, he cares about the club, he's got a lot of ability and a hell of a lot of talent, and he's been brilliant. You probably didn't think he was going to play in the position that he does, but he's done really well.
The last signing of the window on deadline day was Aidan Higgins. What a signing he's been.
Yeah, he's been a revelation. I didn't actually know how good he was, and he's got a lot of ability, a hell of a lot of potential, and more importantly, he's got the attitude and the personality to really go far, because he cares about where he's at, he cares about what he's doing, he cares about the people that are helping him, and I don't think, again, he understands how important he's been for us. He's been absolutely brilliant for us and carried a lot of weight on his shoulders for such a young player. We've put a lot of responsibility on him this year, and he's thrived under that.
One of the headlines at the start of the season was that we went 7 games without conceding a goal.
Yeah, I think both Pio and Carrots has played a huge part in that, adding that presence.
Everybody knows Sean's experience, and he's given us that stability this year.
We probably addressed in the summer, we want to keep more clean sheets.
I knew that if we could keep opportunities away from the opposition, we would win games, because we have loads of creative players.
We were reducing teams to very few chances in and around that sort of defensive third. We want the ball back as quick as we can. We've got players that are more than willing to go and get the ball back for us right the way through the thirds.
To keep that sort of record is unbelievable.
It was in order. I mean, that Buckley game away, I pulled my hamstring in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a carbon copy of what had happened in the first season where we were down, losing the game.
We got the first one back and then they sort of got that momentum and we got the equaliser, and then to score in the last minute just shows the character of the lads.
I never thought we would lose the game at the end of the game. That Nick Grogan got sent off.
Grogan, they broke my leg.
Dylan coming onto the pitch really changed that. His long throw-in really put pressure onto their goal, and Adam Stevens come up with the goods and along with Dylan to score the winner.
Proctor come on and he got the winner, it was made up for him as well.
That picture of Dylan sliding in front of them, I think, Dan captured it, and it was a great moment and a moment that people look back on at the end of this season and hopefully look back on it thinking it was such an important and pivotal night.
We'll move on to the 5-0 victory versus Airbus. I think that took most people by surprise in the league.
And I was very, very nervous for that game.
Everyone thought was going to be tight.
It's Airbus at home sticks out, I think, as a bit of a statement game.
That's probably the best game that I've ever felt up until that point in terms of having a plan, putting it together and the lads executing that plan.
Yeah, it was just doing your due diligence on teams.
And we were thoroughly deserved winners of that game.
Getting the 3 points over them was massive, especially winning 5-0.
To go out there, I know they had a man sent off, but to win 5-0 was, fantastic.
It might have been a shock to everybody on the outside, but I knew them lads, when questioned and when needed to be called upon, they would deliver with the goods, and that's what they did that night.
Nomads, big game, Welsh Prem opposition. How did you feel going into that?
Yeah, I don't fear anybody.
And that result against Connors Quay was unbelievable.
Obviously beating Connors Quay, I've had many battles with over the years, was nice as well.
I look up to the Nomads. They're really well coached, really good club.
I always feel like when you play someone from a better standard than you or in a better position in the league than you, you've got nothing to lose.
I knew when that draw was made, we are properly going to have to do our homework.
The work that I put in as an analyst and the staff had put in and the players had put in that week before, and it all sort of came to fruition, and we went and got the result.
They were probably full hit against us, and I think we got everything spot on that night.
We thoroughly deserved to win that game against Nomads, and we took a lot of people by surprise. I wasn't shocked by it. I expected that from the lads that we've got.
I knew how good they were, I knew how tough it was going to be, but I thought on the night we were absolutely brilliant.
Did you use it as sort of a way to test the waters to see how we'd potentially be for next season?
Yeah, I actually said to lads before the game in the changing rooms, this is an opportunity to show how good you are.
And I think that was the game where we thought, right, we probably aren't as far off it as what we potentially could have been.
An opportunity to show people that if we do go up, we can compete against the best. And on that night, we more than competed with them. I felt like we dominated in large parts of the game.
Going to TNS, what an occasion that was.
Yeah, it was a great day. When the draw happened, that was the team I didn't want for known reasons.
No one really fancied us to do anything there.
It's always going to challenge any team.
We went there with a plan to go and compete against them and try and put them out of their comfort zone, give them respect because of the team that they are, but also not give them too much respect. And again, on the day I thought we were excellent, and if decisions went our way, which they didn't.
We were unlucky, we should have probably had a penalty as well later on.
We should have got something out of the game, and it's a testament to the lads because I'm asking them to do something on that day, which a lot of them did raise eyebrows to, but they just got their heads down and they stuck to the task and nearly got their reward.
I think you were doing the Scorio interview, weren't you? You could hear the supporters in the clubhouse.
Yeah, I didn't want to go down and do a Scorio interview because I wanted to spend time with the fans. That Scorio interview was difficult for me to do when I know that everybody was enjoying the moment that we just created up in the clubhouse, so I tried to do it as quick as possible so I could get back up there.
Sport has been amazing, I've said it all season, good or bad. The factors have travelled in numbers, some of the noise they make on the away games.
Quite a good a few good away trips this year.
Simon, hold on, hey,
They've been on the bus as well with us. It helps when you win, I guess. You know, they're singing songs on the way home.
Sweet Caroline,
They're unbelievable. Easily the best in the league.
The support all round. You do get the loud ones who sing all the songs and stuff like that, and the Steve song does ring loud when you get to the stadium. Yeah, well, you know what, me mum asked to buy another one as well, so we've had 2 of them now.
Oh, the supporters are amazing. Home and away, there's probably always more away Llandudno fans than most home.
When we were going through them tough times, you know, they were still coming and
still the same fans that were back on us last year when we weren't having the best of times.
But no, they stuck by us, haven't they? I think without them, you know, we wouldn't probably be where we are.
But the support they've given the club and the support they've given me has been phenomenal support. It does make a difference. And yeah, massive thank you to the supporters.
I just want to thank them very, very much because they've made me feel very welcome.
And I'm just really thankful for them for being there.
So Reece and Oshan, tell me about what you do for the club.
Just make sure everything's in place for the training session ahead.
And then do the goals and sorting out certain stuff. If the bottle needs refilling, me or Reece goes to refill them.
Oshan and Reece, every training night, pumping the balls up, getting everything ready for us, getting goals on the pitch. Any balls that go west over the stand, they're after it. And
if the players leave any jackets, I tear it off and then it adds into the fines.
You know, they've been amazing. The lads have really taken to them.
They don't understand how much they actually mean to the first team, myself and everybody around the club.
Do you enjoy being around the lads?
Yeah, it's like the best laugh in my day.
Yeah.
It's quality.
What's your favourite part?
Hanging out with them.
Favourite moment from any training sessions, a funny moment that you can remember?
On the beach.
On the beach,
with the Steve-Os, me, Steve-O and all the players just run into the water, and that was really funny and I just enjoyed it from the bottom of my heart, mate.
For me, the reason why I love coaching at this club, people like that love the place, volunteer for the place and would do anything for you.
And you know, I'd like to say a personal thank you, lads, for everything you've done for us.
You got a funniest moment from Oshan and Reece in training? Anything you can remember? Any funny moments?
Oh, just pause that then. No, I won't throw them under the bus. No. The whole family have been top draw.
Jenny and Rich I've known before I come to the football club. I've known them for a long time. Rich is part of the maintenance group doing loads of jobs, and you know, you can never ask him to do a task and he wouldn't do it. After the changing rooms completed with Jenny straight in there cleaning them, painting them, making sure that they're kept up to date.
Jenny, I think over the course of the season, she's just held everything together. I'd like to say a personal thank you to that family because they've been great.
I'd do anything for that family as well if they ever needed it.
Hi, pal. You right?
Hi, I'm Max. How are you?
Gerald, you know, Mr. Llandudno, the lads absolutely love him, I love him. And, you know, even though just filling up the bottles, supporting us, Mossy getting his hat and throwing it on the pitch when we score.
You know, he's had his moments when we score goals and I'll get his hat and throw it on the pitch, and just to see him, you know, smiling and happy, you know, it's great. So I don't know if he's tough to me, I don't know why it is, but he's always at, you know, training, he's got a cup of tea for me. You know, after a game there's always a pint in the bar, and you know, he's brilliant and he's here every night, and you know, it's been a great journey for him as well.
He's been amazing, and you know, we don't value and appreciate the people like we should, and he's definitely someone that we should appreciate because he's so special to this club and he means a lot to a lot of us.
Yeah, big shout out, you know, to Gerald from your main man Max.
You
It was a great day, and the euphoria and everything that happened on the final whistle was great, and to celebrate it with the people on the pitch and in the clubhouse after the game is something that I'll never forget. So.
Yeah, it was a brilliant moment, something that, you know, you remember for a long time.
For the club, for the staff, for the players, it's something that will live long in the memory.
Yeah, more than worthy champions. I think we fully deserve that.
We've worked hard all season to get to that position. I was in the stands when they won it last time, so yeah, it meant a lot.
Unreal feeling, I think. This season we've had to work so hard on.
Being there with all the lads in the dressing room, Bank Holiday Monday was yeah, it was class.
Moments like that, you know, they'll stick with you for like the rest of my career, rest of my life.
It was great, and something that I'll cherish for a long time.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody that's been part of it, from the players today and the staff and the board of directors and all the volunteers and the fans at the club. But I won't forget the moments 3 seasons ago where we had no players. Them players that kept us in the league that season have allowed this to happen. So anybody that's been on the journey for the last 3 seasons, I'd like to thank, because like I said, without them this doesn't happen today. I'd just like to say thank you to everybody that's been part of this journey, because it's why I do it. I love this club for the people that are involved within it.
Come on, Seaside. You're simply